Hi everyone, it's JoJo Empathic here. So in today's video, we're going to be connecting with spirit babies. This is major, okay? When I'm giving this course here, I'm giving it not only from a place of I'm going to teach you how to connect with spirit, but I have to kind of give some background information on spirit babies. So if you're called to this class, you may be diving deep and trying to find answers into why we've even come here to Earth. Why have we come here? I have a lot of information to share with you. This is a very highly demanded class. So a lot of my clients come in with baby spirits in their energy field. And they come in asking a medium, who is here, who's near me? I feel that there's a baby spirit. I feel in my heart that I want to become a mother or a father, but I'm just not quite connecting. What is going on? So this happens very, very frequently. We tend to feel an awareness as we go into parenting. And also we feel an awareness when we are being guided, which is all the time. So you want to follow these internal intuitive hunches and not ignore them if you want well-being and spiritual balance. You want to follow what you are being guided to and led to. And most importantly, you want to make sure you have your intention behind that guidance. So I intend to allow myself to connect with my spirit team of my best and utmost good. I intend to allow myself to go into the flow of the universe. And I intend to allow myself to open to receiving, to hearing from spirit. So that's how you kind of get a little bit of you getting some control of who you are communicating with. And so this course is going to give you all of the tools that are needed in order to connect with spirit. So besides for parents coming in seeking this connection, I feel that this course can really help a number of diverse needs. And we're going to just go ahead and begin to dive right into this class here. So I did provide a handout and I have it pulled up here. So the nice thing about digital downloads is you can print them or you can keep it right on your mobile device and read it from there. Okay, so let's just go ahead and follow along here. So this course is going to teach you how to directly channel, how to channel spirit. So I put in here that before you get started with this class, I want you to take my course, Ancient Wisdom. So that class is going to give you the techniques and tools needed to work with energy maintenance. Okay, so Ancient Wisdom is the foundation class to learn how to ground your energy, get centered, go within your heart, go within your higher consciousness, how to be aware that there's subtle energy in your space, how to shield yourself. These are all of the steps needed in order to effectively channel. So I want to be of service to you and not a disservice. So I need to let you know that channeling is going to require you to be in a state of love and stillness. So we can get there, and I can teach you techniques to get there if we haven't been able to attain that yet. But practice really makes perfect when it comes to using energy maintenance techniques. And this will help with your connection to the energy below you and above you and the energy around you, which is key for channeling. So if we want to be able to pick up an accurate message, I want you to be able to at least feel comfortable enough with energy and grounding energy. Following along here, so I put on here, you have healed or are healing through shadow work, and you have actively released energetic blockages to become a clear channel. So no one's perfect, and we are always continually evolving and healing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying be this perfectly healed you, wholesome you, no. That's a journey. And a lot of us coming in here to this class are at the beginning of a serious awakening. When you are an awakening, you tend to seek these tools, spiritual development education, training techniques here. I recommend it because I want everyone to be empowered. I can channel messages for my clients, but I can't be there in those moments where life gets hard, life gets tricky. So it would be a disservice of me to not actually teach at this point, and just kind of take from people. I need to give back the tools to do this yourself so you can help yourself. When we're able to find these answers or any answers from within us, there is a serious alchemy that takes place. Healing takes place. Energy shifts within, timelines and your realities. It's major. So it's a key to our well-being here on Earth, and this is why I find this information just so incredibly valuable. So with awakening, when we awaken, we're kind of like sometimes all over the place. It can feel very overwhelming. You could have a lot of senses feeling imbalanced, a lot of like physical symptoms, mental, emotional, and things are just opening wide, and you're picking up a lot. And it'll take a journey or an experience for you to have that awareness that this is what's happening, and bits and pieces here will all line up into you finally saying, I believe I'm a spirit. I know I am. I want to work with this a bit more. I want to work with my inner voice. I want to know me. I want to know why I'm here. Where was I before Earth? Who is guiding me and why? When you get to this place in your heart and mind, you are on your way towards enlightenment. And that is what I feel is one of the goals to why we come to Earth. Now, not many achieve enlightenment here on Earth. Now, there are some that achieve heightened levels of enlightenment here on Earth, and they're known as the master teachers. Jesus, the Buddha. These master teachers were able to raise their inner frequency to an enlightenment state. And as we awaken, we are shifting into, the universe is pushing us to this enlightenment in order to save us. We are 2.3 seconds away from 0.3 seconds away from midnight here, with nuclear threat all around here. So we need this. We need us. And just to turn all of this around comes from being able to be aware, be conscious, and when we're rooted in love, we make choices that exemplify that, like a ripple effect of energy. So when we do shadow work and go within, we begin to remove energetic blocks, like deep emotional hate in the heart, guilt, shame. All of these act almost like a filter or a blockage to your channel of information coming in. So say on your heart here, you've got the energy of sadness that is tied to a trauma that happened at 16. And then over here in your womb, you've got another energy of trauma hanging out there, tied to jealousy or conceit. And maybe over by the liver, you have an imbalance with letting go of things, and you feel like your solar plexus is blocked and you aren't just as happy as you used to be. All of these energetic blocks end up blocking that flow from spirit. Or a bias will influence our perception or discernment of what we receive in. So we want to be a clear channel. That's the goal. So then we can have discernment training, which you're here today, and then you can discern an accurate message. And it's as simple as that, but that is kind of a little bit complex here because, removing energetic blockages can be very deep. So I believe I have it on here somewhere. It's not required to have an intuitive healing session with me, but you may consider booking an intuitive healing session with me before you really dive deep into these techniques yourself, to kind of clear up space, to help yourself become a clear channel. You may, do a little fast, a cleanse, a detox, go on a camping trip in nature and reset. Do what's best for you to help you to clear your channel. Clear your mind. Now I put in here also, I'm going to give you some techniques to help you to quiet busy mental chatter, because that's kind of like a must-have before you go into a channeling session. Because if you go into a channeling session and the mind's here, that's what you're going to be focused on. That's what you're going to hear. So there are techniques we can use to quiet that mental busy chatter, repeat thought. And in Buddhism, this is called the monkey mind, because it is on repeat. It's obnoxious. It's here, it's there, it's scattered, and it's very, very common. So when we get to a state of enlightenment, we want to, of course, learn how to still our mind. When we still our mind, we can go into our heart. And when we're in our heart, we can then make a discernment of what we are receiving. And it is very subtle energy when we are working with spirits in the light, or beings of unconditional love. So continue to work on your shadow work as you continue your relationship with spirit to become a clear channel. We are working with beings of love, and we don't work with the beings of hate or greed. We work with beneficial guides for beneficial information. I put on here, you have a sense of empowerment with working with energy within your space and home, and you're willing to detach from personal bias to receive an accurate message. I kind of went over that a bit. And when I say that, because when I say a sense of empowerment, it's because for channeling and healing as well, one of the main things that is needed, see here, let me get this lighting. One of the main things that's needed here for channeling or healing is a sense of empowerment. When we feel empowered, we can tap into our creative essence. We're powerful. We can at least, tap into our infinite source. We may not be there all the way. That faucet may not be streaming in very fast to where we can have an instant manifestation. We can get there, and I believe that. And some do get there to that ability and state of being able to instantly manifest. So, and as healers, this is what that's all about. In those moments of trying to physically heal, trying to heal the body, we want to instantly cause an instant manifestation. So when we feel empowered, that's where we make a change. This is why one of the biggest problems with society today, and another reason for this course, is powerlessness. Powerlessness is what is instilled upon the people to keep people quiet, buying, and in control, okay? On a hamster wheel, controlled, watched, monitored, thought for, actions planned out for. We want to be free thinkers and release that and get that empowerment back to us. And then I believe we can shift up our culture, our imbalances with feeling powerless. Because when we feel powerless, we need somebody to help us all the time. And that's no way to live. It's no way to grab success, to own it. Feeling empowered is something you want to add into your intentions on your self-healing journey. I put in here, you have respect for spirit. If everyone in this class, I'm sure, has respect for spirit. And especially if you do value your spiritual development, you're investing in it. When you put it out to the universe, guide me to what I need to succeed, and then you're led to a class and you feel it in your heart and your soul. This is how we work with the universe to reach prosperity levels and get our desires and needs met. You want to follow that. Working with spirits in the light, our relationships are a bit different. So spirits in the light, like our angels, God, our ascended masters that we love and respect, our deceased loved ones that have transitioned into the light, they can't enable us. Now, there's some spiritual teachers out there that will say that spirit cannot interfere. Your guides cannot come and interfere with your life. I believe, from what I see, that's relatively true because they can't enable you. That is like a law to them. However, I'll be honest, I've seen God, angels, spirit do amazing miracle things. Interfere, save, protect, heal. I mean, it's infinite and abundant, and I would never preach or teach to limit what spirit can do for you. Spirit can interfere into your life and change things up. But we are anointed with free will, which we want to look at as like a law as well in this earth classroom, in accordance to the laws of the light as we channel and work with spirit. Okay, so if we're asking our spirit team, our spirit babies, our angels, God, for the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and I have people writing in doing this, and sometimes I have to refund money and say, if there another question, or if not, I have to refund it, because I am not going to beg spirit. I'm not going to ruin my relationship with spirit to help somebody here. That's not how it works. When we ask once or twice, okay, third, fourth, fifth time here, we get spirit begins to kind of come back a bit in how much they can provide for us. Okay, so and it's because spirits are the good teachers, and I believe I talked about this in Ancient Wisdom. So I won't spend too much more time on that, and that's why that's important there, because everything in Ancient Wisdom, I think it's almost 3 or 4 hours long. It's deep, and it's going to lay the foundation for this. So when we're trying to connect with our spirit babies and we can't figure out why, maybe we need to go back and within and sit and notice we got that message on the front porch last week, but we ignored it. We had that feeling at the grocery store that told us this, that, and the other in answer to our prayers, but we brushed it under the rug. We were told here through a friend at the gas station the message, but we denied it. Doubt came through. This is what's really happening here. So we don't want to do that. Okay, we want to have respect for spirit, be grateful for what we receive. Whatever we receive, we are thankful. When we are in that state of gratitude, that lake is like a water spigot for that flow to come in. When we're in love, it's spilling in. But when we come in, if I don't hear the answer to why this, that, and the other, and I demand, and I know I've asked 15 other times, and is he going to marry me today or tomorrow or next Thursday? It blocks. Spirit's like, I don't resonate with that because of the laws of energy and attraction. When we're in self-love, we resonate to a frequency high enough to hear a higher consciousness. When we're in the resonance of love and compassion, we are in the resonance to hearing from our angels and God. Okay, so we need to have respect for spirit and the laws of light. And if we are really eager to know something, we need to trust that maybe in this moment, we are not meant to know it. Okay, so this is why discernment with spirit is so important. Give it time. Trust in divine timing. I believe that we aren't here to be powerless or confused. I think that we can know anything that we want to know if it is for us in that time. So if we want to know something and it doesn't come through, we don't, spirit doesn't come through for me. We trust. There's a reason for it. And usually spiritual teachings, I mean, it's like so vast, you can't even like explain it, like defies gravity. It defies this reality and the laws here. So you want to go with the flow. I put on here, if you're feeling haunted, we want to address this before we begin to try to channel. Because what you're going to do is you're going to directly channel your attachments. Most times, if someone's haunted in their house, it's not the land, it's not the house, it's the people in the house. It could be the animals too. We want to get down to the bottom of that. So if you aren't well educated on hauntings and possessions and attachments, then you may want to seek a professional medium to get some assistance with that. Why? Because somewhere within, there is a resonance to attracting that attachment, whether it's in your space, in your aura field, or attached to you, or within, as you're fighting a possession that rises up at times and comes down. You know, it needs to be addressed because that's what you'll hear. And a lot of times with possession, that is who is guiding the thoughts. That is who is influencing the vessel more likely here. So we don't want to talk with lower energies. We want to, you know, as a medium, I find out why wouldn't you want to cross into the light and transition? If I'm working with an attachment in an earthbound spirit, why wouldn't you want to choose love and go into the light? And these spirits tend to hang around and feed off of hate, anger, fear, lack of trust, lack of faith, doubt. This victimhood mentality is a huge gateway for dark energy to come in. It's an attraction. So it's all around us, this negativity, but we're anointed with free will to make a choice with how we are managing our energy. So this is why you always hear me talking about energy maintenance. So we need to get help if we are haunted. And I also put, get a deep energy healing session if you need help with clearing your channels. High vibrational foods. Eating plant-based diet is you receive in light energy. And your cells, for someone that is clairvoyant, will see you all glowed up. You're glowing. You have a high resonance, a high frequency from the high vibrational diet that you're eating. A lot of us eat very low vibrational diets and have illness. Okay, so high vibrational energy is what heals us. Lower vibrational energy harms us. And we go over all of this in Ancient Wisdom. So this class will provide the techniques on how to quiet your busy mental chatter, how to discern negative and lower energy. We have to talk about that a bit further. in this class, and how to raise your inner resonance. We're going to do some exercises together, and how to find out and how you sense energy, which is the message, and how you receive your intuitive insight uniquely. So I do talk about this often, that we are all more so alike than we are different. We all have our senses. So, but every single person is uniquely different with how they receive their information. Some of us may feel clairsentient wise. We may feel goosebumps on the skin, tingling on the skin, coldness, pats, flashes of electricity, heat. We may feel tingly. We may see visions, spirit, colors, energy, movement, lines, shapes. We may hear from spirit as our own thought, as our own voice, or separate voice. So we've got our eyes, we see clairsent, our nose, so clairaugustine. Some people may smell spirit. I do have this ability very heightened. In my childhood, it was horrible. A lot of empaths, very heightened empaths, have sinus imbalances, ears, nose, and throat. There's something going on there. I was always very, very sensitive to my nose, and I blocked that ability just to survive because it was so open. Sometimes I do smell spirit. And it's also a tool for like spirits to give a form of idea on themselves. All of a sudden you start tasting or smelling Newport 100s. Oh, that's what cousin so-and-so used to smoke. And that's how they're letting you know, I'm here. It's an identifier. They're able to communicate with you through that type of language that you're able to pick up. So spirits in the light speak several different languages, and so do you, and that's that connect. In spirituality, spiritual mediums will call this a hit. That's like with me getting with a client whose spirit team has a language that I know how to communicate with. It flows. It's a hit. Every message is accurate and resonating. While other spirits in the light, there's so many factors that contribute to why their languages are different. Some are more evolved souls, some are not. So sometimes as mediums, we have to encourage the spirit to get the message out. Can you give me a shape? Can you give me a symbol? Can you give me a sound? Can you give me what it sounds like? We encourage and work with spirit. And a lot of people don't know that. And it's all around us, and most of the times we don't hear it. But it does influence us, and that's my argument to why it is important we know, because it will influence us, and it's our choice to how we keep our space clean. So we need to be on the lookout for that. I talk about eyes, nose, throat, hearing, your skin, and those are all of your senses. So you've come to Earth with your largest sensory organ, your skin, which is all around you. And a lot of people are very clairsentient. Now, if these abilities aren't managed, people are going to end up at the doctors. So, serving diverse needs. Originally, I created this class to help clients to connect with spirit babies within their aura fields. That's a huge need for this class. And let me just see here what I have. Many have a knowing that they're not alone. And that this is because there's another spirit within their aura field or their energy field, and they're sensing that energy. The aura is like 1 billion sensory antennas open to receiving energy all around. And the closer the baby may get to their decided and chosen entrance onto Earth, their birth date, they may become more active in communication or interactions with you. Communicating with one spirit baby or babies is important for many reasons, especially because they're making themselves known within your space for a reason. So there's a purpose. They're trying to get your awareness. And I want to provide a how to connect, how to receive the message, receive the communication, so you don't have to pay me anymore, okay? This is one of those fields where you have to be literally rooted in honesty and love, or it will not work. And the reality is I really, truly want to empower people. That is one of my main goals behind my ministry. So for those, this class is for those who do not want to ignore spirit. You know that there's guides. You hear them, you know it in your heart, and you don't want to ignore. You feel it's right, the right thing to do to connect, to have awareness. So that may be why you're here. Ultimately, I created this class to help end suffering in early childhood, because from what I can see here, this can really truly shape an adult and therefore our humanity. So if we can work with our children, we can make a significant change for our future, which our planet and universe desperately need, and humanity and animals and everything in this entire existence needs. So working with our spirit babies can help us with our own inner childhood healing, as well as just taking this course in general and learning about spirituality on the start of life here on this earth plane can help you to heal your inner child, because I will be talking about parenting and spirituality through a point of promoting being aware, being an aware and conscious parent, and how beneficial that is for your family. So when we can see and learn about spirituality and parenting, we can see where we didn't have that at home and why we are hurting and why we have hurts. Okay, so awareness can help you to make then a choice to heal through self-love. It can could then lead you to the choice of forgiving, accepting, letting go, moving forward. It's very freeing, okay? And this will have a positive ripple effect throughout our entire universe. So I also created this to give a voice to the beautiful children of the cosmos, as they're coming to me, as clients are coming to me struggling with infertility, and I'm speaking to the child and asking, why aren't you coming through? You're near, but why aren't you coming through? We have a worldwide infertility crisis going on. Babies don't want to sign on anymore. We're 0.32 quarter of a second to midnight. That's why. Our environment, the air is poisoned. Our water is poisoned. And I don't want to go down the fear tunnel, but this is reality. Okay, so what can we do to change it? Being here today. Awareness is power. And this is why they say, don't open your mind's eye. You don't want that power. You don't want to be able to think for yourself. You don't want to be able to lead yourself. You need to pay someone else to guide you. No, you need you to guide you. So I want to give a voice to these beautiful children because a lot of them don't want to sign on. Why? Because mom and dad aren't with the right person. Mom and dad aren't doing what they've come here to do for their career and their soul purpose. Mom and dad are filled with hate and anger. Mom and dad don't have awareness. I want to give a voice to these children because what happens is highly intuitive children are being born at a high rate right now to help save this planet with their higher level of consciousness and ability to truly love and think outside of the box and shape and shift this society. And they're being chronically shamed, gaslit, abused, guilt-tripped for being different. And this is the problem with society. And this is why there is such a high depression rate. I talked about this somewhere on my YouTube channel about people come in trying to figure out who's cursing them and putting spells over them. And most times we need to first come back to reality and look at our relationships with friends and family. And then we'll kind of start cooking with grease to finding out why we're haunted or why we feel that we're being cursed, okay? It's our family. It's our friends. It's our relationships. Play a significant role on health and spirituality. Okay, so so let's say some of us in here, we have a spirit baby in our aura field. A lot of us that are watching this do. That's why you're here. Okay, I'm at this place. I know it's here. I'm connecting with a medium. I'm trying to connect. I want to know why this is here. When you build that trust and develop that relationship, you can then, it's beneficial for so many reasons, and we're going to dive into that. Where I want to make sure I'm staying on track here. When you're forming a relationship, and then you can then have more respect for the kids coming through. And with conscious parenting and awareness, we can then really help them and guide them. And I feel that when I see spirituality and parenting, it's all about being a guide to them. So we don't come to Earth alone. We sign on with guides. And right now, you have a spirit baby guiding you. And then the baby's going to come through you, and you're going to guide them. And that's this beautiful cycle about how we're all interconnected. So we are never alone. That's why mediumship and spirituality is a metaphor for life, because it's our existence. So let's see here. I want to talk about something when it comes to spirit babies coming to Earth. I believe we need to get rid of this outdated reward and punishment system, because punishment never leads to wellness. So this also reminds me of Spirit Saying Now Live. So there's some of us in here that are annoyed that our spirit babies are contacting us. It's like punishing. We don't want to be blocking our flow of blessings, and a lot of times we do. We want to be flowing, and remember that punishing somebody or ourselves never leads to wellness, okay? It doesn't work. So we essentially need free thinkers to come through and kind of say, well, what does work? And maybe you have a suggestion. You're a free thinker, you're here, your child more likely will too, okay? That resonance here. So I want to talk about, in this course, meeting intimacy needs and how important it is to understanding boundaries in order to develop trust, respect, and healthy, loving relationships. These babies being born are very focused and passionate towards specific things and very disinterested in others. We'll go into indigo children here in a second. So if you are having a spirit baby near you at this time during an awakening, this class is going to kind of help you to parenting, giving you some at least parenting suggestions that you can pull from yourself and improvise and tweak to your own liking to help to develop their trust and respect and healthy loving relationships. Because you remember, you as a child, that if you're in this class that has childhood wounds and a lack of respect for your parents, that's because we understand that respect is earned. Just because we come through our parents doesn't mean we automatically respect them. Some people come through their parents and never get their needs met by their parents, and some people come through their parents and don't even ever know them. They're up for adoption. So respect is earned. Respect is not just given, and especially with these individuals coming through that know and remember unconditional love. Remember, that's not what is leading this planet. So this was created also with extra love and compassion for those who have dealt with the loss of a child, either in pregnancy as a miscarriage or after, having a loss of an adult child or a baby child or a child, and extra love and compassion for those experiencing infertility and miscarriages and abortion, okay? Because this is a class that's going to help to connect you with clarity, healing, and peace. And that is wonderful for the grieving process. Mediumship, I feel, should never be demonized. It's so vast. I mean, there's good cops, there's bad cops. There's good teachers, there's bad teachers. There's good psychics, there's bad psychics. There's the reverend down at the church on the corner of the street here taking people's money left and right and preaching to fear God. And there's psychic reverends like me trying to empower the people and help them connect to who they truly are. Use your discernment, okay? Mediumship is healing, and it may never affect to some people who are very closed-minded until they lose a loved one. Now all of a sudden you say, you know what? This society is a lie. My loved one is in the light and loves me still. I know it. If there's anything I know here, I know that. My, loved one still loves me, and I feel them coming in. I see the birds. I see the signs. I know. And you know what you know what you know, and you want to trust that. This class is for parents to be, or parents already, who value mindfulness and spiritual awareness when it comes to the parent-child relationship. This class is also for those who are wanting to work with their spirit guides more, to understanding their soul purpose, finding their life partner, finding guidance, clarity, or general information to better yourself, okay? Again, our spirit babies now are our guides. They'll come through us. We guide them. For anyone who is attracting a greater awareness of the spiritual connection between the parent to child relationship. So I talked on that. So now we're going ahead and diving in. Let's go ahead and get started with this good stuff. Who are spirit babies? Okay, so most of you probably have a lot of questions about this, and a lot of you may already know spirit babies aren't really babies. Okay, the spirit baby that is near you may appear like a small child baby or ball of light. Fluttering, flickering, joyful giggles and laughter and upbeat, high fluttery energy. However, more likely this spirit is a very old soul, especially incarnating onto Earth after 1972. So the spirit has lifetimes before them and may be advanced, okay? So when when people are deciding to reincarnate, their energy after we transition and die, we go into the light, we choose it, we reflect over our life, we get to see everything in like this heightened awareness, we learn our lessons, and we can then, there's other contracts we can form in other realities and dimensions, or we can choose to come back to this difficult Earth classroom and incarnate again. And when we do, like a boomerang comes back in, like an attraction, like a force and a magnet to a parent. All of a sudden we are then going back into our innocent state. We begin to forget who we are through this process, okay? And I wouldn't say we shrink, but we get smaller like a baby. And we're going to grow again and ascend up. So they have had many lives. And they are evolving spirits just like you and are an energetic match with your significant purpose. Okay, so spirit babies needs need to be met, lessons will need to be learned, and many will have unfinished business. So remember, the person that we may not like the most with those traits and personalities, we may have had a lifetime very similar to them. We've been the robber of the bank, the murderer down the street, the kidnapper, the villain, the foe. We've been the queen, the king, the ruler, the president. We've been all of these different vast, there's this dichotomy between our lives, between lives. So your child is going to have maybe some unfinished business. A lot of these indigo children signing on now are remembering their past lives. We've got these programs on TV that kind of make it seem haunting. And that's what really the entertainment business in Hollywood feeds regarding spirituality, is a haunting and fear-based image. But children remembering their past life doesn't need to be haunting. We don't need to become overwhelmed if this happens to you. You want to get with a trusted medium and work through it, okay? So they're coming back to Earth to reach enlightenment. Just like you, they're going to experience lessons. Karma is a lesson. The cycles of life are extraordinary. This is home. This hits home. This is what I've said before. Parents are guides to their children on this earth plane, but before the child is born, their spirit is a guide to their parents. We choose our parents. Some contracts between children and their parents happen before mom and dad signed on to Earth. So we sign on to Earth at a very specific time and location. And you want to thank your higher consciousness for this, because it lays out something called a natal chart, which is an image and snapshot of the sky at the exact moment you took your first breath and at that location. So you kind of did that and chose that strategically and intuitively to help yourself now, as you don't remember why. So then when we awaken, we're led to our natal charts. We get a natal chart reading. We see why we chose this exact location and time to take our first breath. And the planets say, well, you're an introvert. You're an inventor. You've come here to be a medical intuitive. You've come here to raise cats and dogs, whatever it may be. And then we receive that clarity. It all makes sense. We didn't have mom and dad telling us, you're right, follow your passions, you're unique because of this, that, and the other. But the planets kind of give you that snapshot. So thank yourself for your natal chart. I see it as this is our tool to ourselves to helping to remember our purpose, because your natal chart will show you. So it is important as you are, if you are getting into pregnancy, about to have a baby, and even after the child is born, I recommend for spirituality and parenting to get your child's natal chart read. Now, this also you could get your chart as parents matching with your children to see how your behavioral patterns or your instincts, your unique abilities may or may not resonate well with this child's, and how to work through it. If the astrologist is of light and is a light worker of love, will give you those tools to help you with a functional relationship. For example, we've got a fire sign over here. We've got a water sign over here. Well, the water puts the fire out. So mom, or whoever is the, mom or dad, if you're the water sign and you tend to be a bit more emotional at times, and you've got a fire sign child who shits and giggles and, spitfires and, jumping all over the place, there may be, the astrologist may come through and say, well, this is what is needed to help the fire, and this is what's helped to heat the ice, and kind of giving you those techniques that can help guide you for your best good in relationship building. So I think it's really cool and important. And it's important so you know this child is coming through, and with this communication, they're probably going to tell you, I'm here to be an actress. I'm here to be a news reporter. I'm here to do this, that, and the other. And then when you get their natal chart, you feel like, oh my God, I knew this. Like, I was communicating with this spirit baby all this time as we conceived in pregnancy, and then we get the natal chart and it lines up to what you had. And then the child gets older, and all of it just as a hit, it all makes sense. So when we start to live feeling powerful and clear and in harmony and aware. When we're unaware, we're confused, and it blocks and shrinks us, shrinks our energy and makes us powerless. Okay, so the timeline of when, I want to go back up here. So we choose our parents and our contracts. Sometimes the contract is before the parent signs on to earth. It's already set in stone. Me and my soulmate will be mother and daughter one day. Me and my soulmate are going to be father and daughter or son. That's set in stone. Other times, the child may sign a contract in the middle of your life randomly. So there's a lot of that we can't explain with spirituality. That we can't maybe understand in this dimension, but it just is. Some things just are. And so that is a circumstance that can absolutely happen. Your child can switch up their gender, their birth order, their birth date, or they could even choose a different parent. It's very much so open, and it's a lot about resonance. What if there's a parent that isn't here doing what they've come to do? This parent came here to actually go be a lawyer and defend people and change the system, but they always felt powerless, never were able to move past their own inner blockages and build their esteem and confidence and go towards that passion and love for law and speaking. And so instead of being a lawyer, they, ended up using drugs to cope with that. They never found those tools to help them get there. And then they end up selling themselves short. Now the child doesn't want to come through because that's not in alignment with what this high vibrational being wants to come through to do. So they may say, you know what, I love you, but this isn't it. And so they continue. So that's why we love everybody. We're all interconnected. Our babies aren't more so our babies. Like, they have had a different mother and father before, and then that lifetime again. So I know in this life, my mom and dad were not my mom and dad in my last life. The dynamics were very different. And for a lot of people that don't have good relationships with their folks, they're people that are not really part of their soul tribe that they're incarnating with. Why? Because mom and dad may have been, let's say, for example, mom and dad were off track with what they've come to do. Or they're on track with what they're here to do. Maybe this lifetime, they will never have awareness. They never will get to that level, and that's what's set. But it does build them up into the next life, into finding that. So we don't know. Everybody's very, very relative to why they're here. That's why it's so important to find out why. So, children that were born into an unconscious generation, such as myself, a lot of adults right now who were born into a very heavily sleep generation of parents with lack of awareness, we weren't really a hit with our parents. We actually were born into possessed parents, parents that weren't aware. Now, you're saying, well, wait, time out. If we're empaths and we're high vibrational, we're an indigo, why would we be drawn to someone that's so low vibrational? This is so interesting this is coming up because this has been a theme all week here. I was preaching on this, I feel, on Instagram. When you've come to Earth to be an antagonist or against all society or against a part of society or societal programming that needs to be changed, when you have a huge contract to come here and shake stuff off, you do give off that antagonist archetype. So by the law of attraction, you will attract it in. You will be met with a resistance. And now there's some spiritual teachers that say, no, if you're attracting a negativity, you're being negative. I don't believe that. Now, I've also had some spiritual teachers that say empaths are light workers are an exception to the law of attraction because they naturally attract in narcissists and sociopaths. Not because of their low energy, because their high vibrational energy, they attract it in like a spiritual parasite. I would debate that as well. I would say that it is indeed a law of attraction. It's because the soul is coming on to be an antagonist. And in their family, they will be an antagonist to their cultural norms that are trying to be superimposed on them. And we see this friction divide and a split of realities between families and children and parents. And then the parent will never be able to understand this child's reality. And we see this lack of trust, and it actually is very devastating to the soul and psyche when this happens. Okay, so I want to come back over here to switching up gender. Spirit's having me go here next. Regarding that, is a lot of these indigo children signing on are coming in genderless, bringing us back to our roots. Remember, mythology leads to religion. Check out ancient wisdom, where there was the androgynous god, the godhead with the masculine and feminine as one. Okay, so these children are bringing this ancient wisdom to the earth because we need it. They're saying, if I'm a woman and I love a woman, that is unconditional love. If I'm a man and I love a man, that is unconditional love. They're here to shake society. So these are big contract indigo beings here. Now I want to go back into where Spirit is having me here about that. What I was talking about prior was about attracting a parent that is not part of your soul tribe. Many people meet their soul tribe throughout their life. They're not necessarily born specifically into their soul tribe. So for you, with this consciousness, with what you're learning today, it'll help you to be sure that you are hitting. You have a hit. Because a lot of people don't understand that you do have a choice. If a child comes to you and says, I need a parent that's going to help me get through this significant illness on earth. And you may say, I don't think I can help. I'm here to let you know that's okay. Now, that may sound selfish to some or lack of compassionate for some, but I don't judge, and I get it, okay? I'm here to help end suffering. There will be a happy home for that child. That child can find love. And you don't need to feel guilt if you don't want to do that. I wholeheartedly believe that. But this class is going to kind of help you to have that awareness that these type of huge changes in contracts can be talked about and negotiated prior to your child coming through you. Okay, so we are finding our hit soulmates to what we can handle, what we can do within our life. That makes for smooth sailing, because it's not going to be always smooth sailing. There's ebbs and flows. So the timeline of when the spirit comes in, begins to interact. We have to talk about free will. Free will dictates timeline. A lot of people don't get this, and especially they'll write into a medium or psychic and ask for help, and then we give a timeline, and it doesn't happen. What was predicted did not happen at that time. People, a lot of time that don't have the awareness of spirituality will go blame the psychic. Oh, she was off. Didn't happen. Instead of looking within. Number one, you weren't able to find that answer yourself. You should give, the respect to the medium you're trusting, that they even gave you the time of day to try to help you connect with the message from outer space. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so vast, but people have they don't have much respect for psychics. And so we're not going to go down that route here. I want to continue with where I was going. Timeline. We don't need to be upset about timeline. It really upsets people. I had one of the most, I know a world-renowned psychic, and I've had about 2 healing readings in my life. Okay, now I'm a spiritual medium, so I don't get readings from other people. But I have had a natal chart reading, my first one, and my life contract reading were 2 of the most powerful psychic medium readings I have ever had. Okay, and that's when I first actually learned about medical medium. I learned about what a medical medium was from my life contract. I had never heard of it before. Okay, so back to my story. When I received this reading, a prediction was given based on my life contract, what is like set in stone for me. Around this age, we can see that there's the opportunity, is really, if it's a medium that's going to give the truth, it's an opportunity for this child to start coming in. Okay, so we want to be thankful for the psychics that can accurately predict within proximity. I remember when I was training in psychic development for criminal investigations, and I was in a class and we were given a mock story of a murder case. This was a real story that happened in like the 80s, and we were just given the awareness that this is what we were looking into, nothing else. And we were to come back and reflect with what we received. So the first time I ever tried this exercise, I was able to find out that this body was buried somewhere in the state of Michigan. I think I came up with a name, and it was like within 100 miles or within, it was within proximity. It was the same state, but long story short is where I'm trying to get at is that that's good. That can be developed a bit more. That channel can be a bit clearer to knowing how to find that type of information and developed, and then you can go out and use your abilities to help find missing people or missing objects, and that's really just how this works. So timeline can be influenced. Making predictions can be influenced. Distance and time and measurements and all of that. So where I was getting to with the story is the psychic told me this would be when this would happen. Now everything else in that reading was a hit. But the part about the child coming through has not all the way happened. I feel that she was still 100% accurate with a time frame. Now, did I go back and leave a negative review? You messed up. You were wrong. And some people write into me, just letting you know you were wrong. They just write a write in and do that. I also had a full day of training that goes over how to not ruin your reading. A lot of people don't understand that if the reading's not resonating, it may be with you, right? The reader is doing this all day long, and then every now and then we come into the, it's not resonating. There's reasons we can block our messages. Sometimes people coming in, they want to prove that they're spiritually advanced, and so they block, and I'm going to be hard to read. No one can read me. Then why come in for a reading? I've read some of the most spiritually advanced, I remember a famous author in Hawaii, medium, retired, read her like a book. It's like, thank God, because she's open. She opens her heart. She's not coming in to play games or prove. She's coming in for a genuine, authentic reason. We need to be genuine and authentic with our purpose and understanding of how this is happening. We don't need to, beat ourselves up too. Now we're the medium in this situation. If we are off on timeline, is where I'm getting to this. It happens. Nobody's perfect. And there's a reason why it didn't happen yet that we want to trust or to find out what we can do to bring it to happen. Okay? Now, normally within 5 years of signing on to Earth, the spirit baby may become near to one of the parents or both. First time I ever saw a spirit baby was attached to the father, not the mother. Now, within 1 to 2 years of making their appearance and signing on, they become very much so closer. So this is when I see babies more so in the aura field, closer to the sacral chakra, closer to the heart, right behind the shoulder. Their energy is near and will tend to stay with and guide their parent. So, let's see. what could it look like if you begin to, you're going to feel that you're not alone. You may see a ball of light. I usually see yellow as a baby spirit. Then, through my mediumistic abilities, a symbol will come through from the child telling me a sex or a gender. I'll see, for me, pink bow tie, girl. And for boys, I'll see, usually I hear it. I just hear boy or see blue or something. But there's symbols also that you uniquely have in your own symbol base of your ancient knowledge that will help you with your mediumistic abilities. So, do I have a mediumistic mediumship course available now? This is the closest to it, similar to Connect with Yourselves. So what I recommend is you may want to wait for me to come out with the course or go get a course. Go and enlist in a course where you can go through the course of weeks with a teacher that can help you with understanding your spirit, your symbol base, and understanding your gifts. Okay, it's important. It's important to know how you receive messages. It can be, spirit babies have a tingling energy. Your heart should ooze with love when communicating with them. You know, and there are shape-shifting energies which will tend to appear as a child. I know of a story of a woman. She felt this negative energy. She looked down and clairvoyantly, she had a spirit sucking on her breast that looked like a baby. All of a sudden, the face shifted, and it was a shapeshifter. It wasn't a baby. It was a grown, angry, earthbound spirit. So that's some discernment there. Shapeshifters, they will appear as a small child. Sometimes it's more of like a haunting giggle. And you won't be confused. Your gut will tell you and give you a sign. This is good or this is bad. Now, society puts this facade on mediumship that it's almost impossible to ever get an accurate message. No, we just don't. We ignore a lot of times the body telling you this is not okay. That's it. So you want to get to a state of groundedness so that you can truly discern. So with a shapeshifter, if you are communicating with what looks like a small child, you'll notice they'll probably be far away from you, and you may feel a haunting, a nausea in your stomach, and stabbing in your temples. I usually feel it right in my gut. I feel like, oh my God, I'm going to be sick out of nowhere. I know at that time I got to get grounded, and I actually say something that may help you. I say, I will sense and not feel. Because it means at the time I'm probably about to go into a reading or an appointment, and or I'm beginning to interact with one of my clients' energy. So I pull my energy back, and through my intention, I make sure that I'm not over-absorbing energy, okay? That does not belong to us. So be observant, and when you're connecting with this spirit, if you begin to see something that feels off, you want to trust it, you can always ask. I want to encourage you to ask who you're speaking to for some identification. Who are you? What's your name? What does your name sound like? Why are you here? What are your intentions for being here? What type of spirit you are? You want to begin to know who you're speaking to. And that's the first step. Then you go ahead and determine if you're going to allow that message to come through. You have the power over what's coming in and out. And babies also have like this sweet laughter. You may feel a flood of heat and feel warm and giggly, and then all of a sudden in your mind you're like, I want to go to Babies R Us today. You know, you get that insight. It's called mediumship. And you and your partner, as you get closer, you may feel a need to be a parent and a calling to. And they call this like mother and father intuition. You know, it's just a knowing. Now, the closer and closer the spirit baby may come to mothers who have the womb, you may feel, they call this like spiritual kicks or flutters before the baby's even conceived in there, okay? So that's how allowing you are of this connection. That's what's dependent on that. You may begin to start feeling the need to nest. Let's see here. So yes, very, very good. we are getting into, we already touched on it, spirit baby enters the earth body. We have an earth body that connects us to the earth. So we've got DNA that connects us to our human race. We are extraterrestrials. We are not from here. There are some, I feel, humanoid DNAs and lineages that are people from this earth with the breath of spirit to give them life. And from there, I feel there were other beings that came that integrated with and bred with humans, and now we have what we see is the main DNA of our collective. And we have a crystalline DNA within us. Our bones have crystals in it, and that gives us this magnetic energy, and that's what makes us really powerful creators, and it helps us to attract. And our earth body keeps us here to earth and keeps us with gravity connected to earth. So you want to work with all of that. So this relationship is dynamic. When does consciousness come into the body? This is a debate. This is my personal opinion from what I can see and have learned. Now, I believe that consciousness, like a spirit, enters their earth body at different points. Okay? And it's relative to each spirit. We can't deny that as soon as a sperm and egg meet with the intention to create life, there is consciousness. There is consciousness in the elements, the sperm, the egg, and everything thereafter. Okay? It exists. In that moment when that intention is set, the contract is formed between the parents. This is where we see, at times, spirit babies begin to enter fields, or they're already there. Okay? So we have that contract. Now, some spirit babies they've chosen this to be aborted. They've chosen that. Or they've chosen to come in to be miscarried for whatever reason. It's part of their evolution. They may never enter into the mom's womb as a spirit. Now, because they aren't technically going to live out a life. Now, that spirit may come back through that parent at one time or may go to a different parent. It's all very relative. Now, for some who have a contract, I'm going to have a long life on earth through this mom and dad, they may come in immediately. Some parents with heightened awareness and women with connections to their bodies, heightened connections, may say that, have testimonies that they felt at the moment of conception this baby enter them. And there's others that don't. There's others that don't know that they're pregnant. They had no feeling of it. So I think even with that could be body consciousness, but it also could be because the baby spirit may not even already be in there yet. Now, science will say around after the first trimester, we start to get the sensory organs and everything interconnected within the brain. Then consciousness can connect to the baby fetus around 6 months. I would say it's just very relative from what I've seen. So everything is different. Now, with that baby being aborted or miscarried, what happens to that cell? So say it's just a few weeks, it's just cells forming. That's going to lead, that consciousness is going to play a role in that spirit in some way. So when that spirit goes and reincarnates, part of their life experience may be, I was aborted, I was miscarried, I have a feeling of this, that, and the other, that I'm here to resolve this, that, and the other. It's all interconnected to a higher purpose, okay? Everything truly happens for a reason. Now, the emotional connection between the carrier, the mom, and the baby is very important and highly studied. There is a significant correlation between emotional intelligence with what is happening within a developing baby in utero. Okay? So remember, if the baby's in there, consciousness is going, the laws of attraction are already going. Let's say mom is in a state of trauma and she's pregnant and in fear. The baby is sensing that. The baby is picking that up and potentially going into a state of soul fragmentation already. And that's where I was going with that. When does the soul even come on? I want to preach here and teach that I believe that soul fragmentation can happen prior to being born within our mother's wombs. So if mom is traumatized, mom is in fear, mom's not eating healthy, and the needs aren't met, this child can then go into, once those senses physically have been developed to be able to fight or flight, or even to sense or make an emotional connection. If that baby developing goes into fear or a biological process that is limiting, the soul may fragment as a form of trauma response already. So what happens in the mother's womb can play a role on what happens at birth, how the birth actually happens. Now, other children can actually be born from perception. This was something else Spirit's just putting in now live, and I feel like I have it in there somewhere and I missed it. Some women can be, or men, but we're talking about the woman that's about to receive this baby. That baby could be born from perception. Let's say mom is in a state of severe depression and is in need of love and feels that that having a baby may be what gives her love. Well, biologically, the body may, she may in her heart truly want love, but the ovaries say no because you're not ready due to this fear or trauma that's crippling the ovary. So there may be an ovarian cyst. So it's a lot of times we do see this dissonance. Women that want to be mothers but have reproductive system imbalances. Okay? Same goes for fathers too. So we need to be mindful if we are bringing a child on here, I believe, that of that resonance, of the reason why. If we're bringing on a child to meet a need of, I want to be loved, I need to control somebody else's life, this is where we start to see a lot of chaos that we see very present throughout society. Okay? You want to be with those hits. So who are the indigo children? It's typically known that after 1972, there's been a shift up of souls' missions for coming to Earth. Okay, so we had some world wars and a lot of prophecies fulfilled for end times prophecies. Check out Ancient Wisdom. And the unconsciousness for the planet is not working. And so there are spirits that are coming and signing onto Earth with huge contracts to help humanity. They are usually known as indigo children. They come into life with heightened senses and extrasensory abilities. There's usually they're very different, but there's a lot of very common similarities between them all. A lot of them are night owls. Barely need any sleep, a lot of them are very high energy. Very driven and focused and passionate, tunnel vision towards one thing and disinterested in the next. You may have an indigo child that excels in history and struggles in English. You'll see that dichotomy there because they're here to be focused on their one thing and they don't want to do anything else. And I'm here to say you should allow that. You should allow that and be supportive of it. We don't want to push and superimpose what we would think or believe or do on this child, okay? Let them be a free thinker because that is where they will have this respect. They're highly intelligent, senses are open. We're living in a state of trauma here and fear in this day and age, and that heightens intuition and senses. So a lot of these children are being born from a state of fear, and their senses are blown open right at birth to help them to survive. You think of a small child in a room, little girl, let's say, and she's in a room, let's say on Thanksgiving, and the family's drinking, and now everybody's drunk, and the little girl comes downstairs from her nap. She needs to go to the bathroom, or she needs something to eat, and everybody's drunk and starting to argue in the room, and the little girl's in the corner. She's there. What's happening to her body? Her senses are on overdrive. Her nervous system is on overdrive, and she goes into a state of fight or flight. These processes open up your intuition. They open up your mind's eye. This is another reason why it needs to not be demonized. People that are highly traumatized are highly intuitive so that they can survive instinctually. So instinct and intuition are very much so one and the same. And the body and the spirit play a role on how we communicate. Now, a lot of these children are from Planet X. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not going to dive deep into that because I don't, I'm putting it out there. Digest it if you want. I had never heard of Planet X until I started working with my spirit babies. So you're coming from where? Spaceships may show up. Remember, we aren't from here. So when you start connecting with your spirit babies, you may see UFOs in your dreams, in reality, okay? They're coming. This is your soul family. Your soul family has found you. You've accepted and allowed it. It's a good thing. Extraterrestrials are who help us with healing and higher levels of thinking, and a lot of them want to help save the planet and universe, and they carry ancient wisdom. So things are going to be shifting when you allow yourself and begin to go into a time of your life where you're bringing in a child of the cosmos. We need to get out of our limited thinking. We need to get into our hearts and have discernment. So they're very mission driven. They're super successful even without college educations. A lot of times these highly indigo extrasensory children like too good for school. You know, they're the college dropouts, but they're still highly successful. Why? Because usually a lot of times we see people with credentials learning someone else's thought. Okay, they're learning something that's already been established. These indigo children are here to come and make their own reality, pave their own way. Okay, come up with their own ideas, theories, and thoughts. They resonate very high with high vibrational food like a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle. And they're very sensitive to toxic, low vibrational food. So if we have an indigo child here, they may thrive and feel better when they're eating healthy like this, and feel very, very, very much ill when they eat, Cheetos and crackers and cheese nips and all that good stuff that we love that's sprayed with carcinogens. They will sense that. So to give you an idea, if you believe that you're going to have an indigo child coming through, a highly intuitive individual, you have to know in your heart and stay rooted in love. It may take a little extra patience, because people that are very intuitive, such as myself, we socialize different. And we need parents and family that accept that and understand what that's like. You got to imagine if you don't have this ability, okay? And maybe you do. Some intuitives and extrasensories are able to visually see people's thoughts, thought patterns, thought forms. Some people are able to feel miles away what someone else is thinking or feeling. That can be very challenging within relationships, okay? It does require a level of responsibility with protecting your own energy and managing it. It can be overwhelming. And we need an acceptance of these indigo children, because they really are here to help us to love, and they will have a strong mission and message on unity consciousness. We need to make sure these indigo children know how to get rooted and grounded, how to cleanse, how to shield from the very beginning. Okay, babies learn a lot. And a lot of indigo children, I believe I started speaking before I was 1. People said, she's a little different, it's a little gift of gabs. I'm an indigo. I could probably fall asleep between, 5 to 7 or 8 every day. I have unlimited energy most of the times when I'm, taking care of myself and limiting caffeine and eating healthy. The lights are going out here. Massive. It feels like a storm coming, so I just closed the window. Let's bring it back here. These children are here to shift the global market, okay? Remember, the head becomes the tail. These ancient prophecies are playing out right now. The meek shall inherit the earth. These sensitive beings, the meek the sensitives are the ones that are going to be running our society. So a lot of these indigo children come really with this energy of like a politician. They are the antagonists. They are here to create and inspire and lead. And you want to support that and go with the flow, because it'll help you as an individual as well to be more aware. It'll help heighten your senses and your abilities. So what are the advantages to connection? I already went over a lot of this. You know who's with you. You know who's guiding you. You know who's in your space. You begin to understand your spiritual contracts and why you're in specific places at specific times, okay? We get to know how to work with the laws of energy for our benefit, for prosperity. You're connected to all that is and was. You understand major life themes and karma to evolve. You have authority over your desired manifestations. You understand yourself deeper. You can ask this child who has a higher level of consciousness right now without their body, help me, guide me, show me, So it really helps you to know you. Helps you to also clear any unresolved energies to move forward with peace and tragedy, or to prevent tragedy. This can help with infertility solutions, and this is what I usually do with my work. I'm asking the spirit. A lot of times this isn't my psychic opinion when I read people. Sometimes it is. But most times, if I can connect with a spirit baby, a spirit, I know I can get very beneficial information to come through that I can trust. Now, usually those timelines seem to be very, very much so within proximity. Okay, and within proximity, I mean within a few months or years is still an accurate prediction. So we can ask, please, for guidance with my infertility. What is going on? How can I heal this? It also established a greater bond and trust and understanding between parent to child. It increases your telepathy connection when the child is born. Usually mothers and fathers always may have a heightened intuition, a parental intuition. They just know that little Sammy's not okay at their friend's house. They have to go check. Dad knows so-and-so left their lunch pail on the bus again. Parents have intuition, and usually for the woman, I believe that can happen at any point, but especially after childbirth with that trauma to her body, she will get an intuition increase. But fathers have it too. Men are just as intuitive. So we then get to understand and help the child before the child's born, understanding the child's past lifetimes, which can then help them when they're born if they have fears, phobias, why they're not able to resolve, why they're feeling stuck with residual energy, to how to clear that. And it really instinctually builds a very intimate relationship and helps with meeting intimacy needs within a parent-to-child relationship. Just listening to the wind out there. Like I said, it's been one thing after another to get this information out. I'm not going to stop, and we're going to keep on chugging through. Words of wisdom for welcoming a child, okay? I'm going to keep this short as we get into the good stuff, the channeling, because this is coming through as channeled from spirit. Parents, when it comes to spirituality and parenting, parents are here to be guides to children. They are not here to superimpose their beliefs, their likes and dislikes and religions and things and ideologies on someone else, okay? Guide. Just as they guided you to where you are today, to this class. They're saying, I'm here. We're going to start talking. Help children to find their own joy and freedom. And I want to get in here a bit about how a lot of these indigo children will go against what is normal. And some may see that as rebellion. Rebellion is a symptom that is from someone deep within them saying, this isn't my truth. So we need to have this awareness when we're dealing with these indigo children after they're born and they're rebels. Instead of shaming that, there can be a spiritual and intuitive process of understanding these unique needs and making sure that they are met from a place of love. Okay, verberizing doesn't work. We are here to end suffering. When the baby's born, this is a time you want to study child psychology if you're having a child, how important it is to not even tell a child no right from the get-go. Why? Because we're guiding them to being manifestors and creators. Why are we stuck with not being able to manifest instantly? Because of the programming that's been instilled. So this is a chance to really help our children be creators in the future. How do they do that? They just need to know and believe that they are. So it starts then as a baby. We can, not tell this baby no for the first few years of its life. We can coddle a baby for the first little bits of its life. Because that's not always reality as we get older, but there is a good time to give that intimacy need to a child that is developing. To letting them know that when you cry, I hear you, I will meet your need. If you are hungry, you can get that need met and you can eat and be supplied. These type of first interactions with our children are important to shaping how they feel power in their own realities. Okay? So there's no bad choices. That is so crippling for children. Bad things tend to lead to good things. Bad things. There's no sin. God is not fear-based, okay? And these children want that, and they know that. So help them to be able to build a healthy self-concept for themselves, to be able to think for themselves. It's not, do you want to go do this, that, or the other? What would you like to do today? The child comes to you, well, this kid over here is throwing rocks at these other kids. And, instead of us saying, we could get grounded and say, well, why do you think the child is throwing rocks? You may be surprised out of the mouth of babes what that child says back to you. Maybe because their parents are always fighting and he's sad. These kids know. They know. But what happens is a lot of times kids will come to the parent. The parent will then think for the child and say for the child. And this doesn't guide them. So it doesn't guide them towards a healthy self-concept that they can know that they can desire something and that it's good to desire something, and that if there's a problem that they're well enough equipped to find a solution to it, and that they believe in themselves and believe that who they are essentially is good. A lot of us indigos, we were shamed, so we thought we were bad, and all these struggles of dissonance. So when the child comes to you and says, I want to buy this, and you may not in that moment, you may not have the money, and that really hurts. So I say, well, you don't have the money for it. Go get a job. You're 4. You could say, well, let's brainstorm together how we can come up with this money, because it's just not available right now for me. Doing these things to help the child think is going to be beneficial for these indigo children. And again, if there is a spirit baby coming near you, this type of interaction is more so going to be at the forefront of your relationship. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. We're going to move forward. At this point here, I would like to speak to those that are grieving from the loss of a child. Now, my heart goes out to you. I understand that this may have been one of the most devastating times of your life. Now, I can't understand exactly how you feel. I can only empathize. And what I will share with you from my own experience that I have found is helpful for grieving is to knowing truth regarding what happens after we pass, okay? So just as we sign on, it's our choice of when we sign off. And although we may not know in this moment why things have happened, there is a higher purpose. Communication connects us to understanding the why behind these purposes. There is a better place. As a practicing medium and reverend, what I'll say is that I've learned, through working with spirits in the light, how, infinite God's unconditional love is. There is a cleansing process that takes place when we transition. The earth body it dies, and a lot of these spirits are telling me they're in a place of peace. Some call it the light, some call it heaven. I hear a lot about angels and heavenly hosts, and it is airy fairy and very bright in love and peace. And where does the suffering exist? Here, in the earth body. And that gets left when people pass. And that's very important for people that are grieving from a loved one, a very dear loved one, to know. Your loved one is more likely in a very, very much so better, happy place. But then we're saying, but what if not? I see it very less often that people don't choose to cross over into the light. I've seen bad people go into the light. They are no longer that bad person. Remember, that was once you, okay? And you were forgiven by an unconditional love that we don't see here on earth. That's kind of how that goes. That's real parenting love from higher beings. So there is more likely they're in the light. It's very, very rare that we see earthbound. Very, very rare. Okay? And even earthbounds have the opportunity to make a choice to go into the light and transition after. And this is where, if you are dealing with a haunting and earthbound, call in a medium to help this spirit cross over. I see a lot of times people with dolls, spirit dolls. Why hold why interact with a spirit that doesn't choose to go into the light? I don't get that. I just don't. Because what I see is people end up sick and confused, and that energy manipulates for a negative. And that's all that I've really seen from working with negative spirit is a negative result, okay? But that's rare. So I want you to know that. Now, another thing that may help you to find solace is to know that you can continue that relationship after death. And our ancestors respected nature and they respected spirit. Spirit is nature. So we, I believe, will do benefit when we connect with our ancestors, with our spirit team. They then have this heightened insight and they know from a higher consciousness how to give you healing information. And so when you're in the light, there are those laws. Remember, the spirits can't enable us and they can't do harm to us. So this is why we can trust working with spirits in the light for healing information. Okay? So connect. This is why you're here, and I feel very happy for you because although it may be hard at first, I will be honest, it'll get better. And even that first interaction, let all those tears out. Let it out. Don't hold anything back. It's part of the healing process. And one thing I will say is that maybe over the course of time or like a year, you may become less and less emotional every time you go to connect. And I want to say this as well, is that this is something that we want to work through. Spirit in light wants you to work through healing emotions that are blocking the heart and are heavy. Spirit wants you to feel peace and love and to be able to move forward from tragedy. So spirit can't do harm. If spirit comes in, say this is your deceased child, and notices if this child's upsetting you, this child has to back off a bit. They can't do any harm to you. So it's to our benefit to learn to overcome this and work through it. And working with this spirit in the light can help you to move forward. It can help you with grieving. And you can flood your heart with through your senses, the feeling and essence of your deceased loved one, bringing that energy into your heart and feeling. You may begin to smell, taste, feel, see, experience the energy of your deceased loved one. And for many, it's healing. And a lot of times we say, it's just not all the way it. You will be reunited again. You will be reunited again. And a lot of times my clients' spirit team tell me that they're with other loved ones in the light, and then other people show up too, cousins, aunties, grandmas, grandpas, moms, and dads. It's really, our time on earth is very short. If I look at a life contract, it's from 0 to 85. That's not many years. So you will reunite again in spirit, and I would encourage you to continue with the relationship with spirit. And this class is really going to help you with that. So do not be discouraged. There is a reason, there's a higher purpose, and some things are beyond, our understanding in this moment. Now, I also would like to speak to those that are dealing with infertility that may never be able to conceive when that is one of their biggest heart desires. Finding a place of acceptance is the way. Finding applying the law of detachment is very healing. It's healing because, and I'm going to add this in here, that came through here live. It helps us to be present and to be responsible for our energy, our own energy. And when we can detach through truth, knowing you can still communicate, you will meet again. This spirit may have another family one day and had another family before you, same as you. You have more kids, more spirit babies. You may, the motherhood and fatherhood will continue after. It's endless. It's an endless cycle, and society will have you to limit. But going in this direction of awareness can help you to expand and heal. And that's what I would encourage you. Finding acceptance through love, peace, forgiveness, releasing guilt, releasing shame. That is significant and healing to you as you grieve and move forward. book a mediumship reading if you are struggling. But if you're in this class, you're probably going to develop those skills over time to doing this yourself, which is awesome. But don't be afraid to get help from a professional medium. That's totally common. And what if we've had an abortion or miscarriage? I have spoke on this so far. It's the child's choice. It's also your choice. Somewhere in there. There was a higher level of consciousness, your higher consciousness and this child's consciousness working together in a different realm to form that contract of abortion or miscarriage. You agreed to it on some dimension, reality, or level, some timeline. So we need to find peace in that. And finding peace for things that aren't can help you to know why things are. You know, in this life I wasn't a mom or dad for a reason. I'm here to do this, that, and the other, and I find peace and hope in that. Now, I also want to say don't close yourself up to adoption, because spiritually, we may have a spirit baby in our field right now that we find out we can't have babies. Baby may come through someone that you know, or it may come through another person that you don't know, and you end up adopting the child, or the child will, come into your custody or relationship with you. You could be a very strong mentor to this child, like a parent, somewhere down the road. This is like that magic of life. So when one door closes, another opens. I want to assure you of that. You can detach from, you have to meet your needs. So if you desire to experience pregnancy and you're not able to, finding the peace with not being able to, you could look at why did you want to feel pregnancy? Well, I wanted to experience did you want to experience a pregnancy, or did you want to experience having a child, an intimate relationship? When you get there to that authentic connection, then you realize you can still have that through someone else. And you may just looking within yourself and realize, you never realize you just want to be pregnant. You don't even want to have a kid. Then we can then alchemize energy and resolve unresolved energy and move forward with peace and prosperity. You can change your whole mindset. So that is very important to know. Stay open to adoption. It's a beautiful, beautiful system. It can be a very corrupt system, absolutely. But it can connect us with our spirit babies when we are not able to naturally conceive, okay? All right. I want to go ahead and also mention Spirit's putting in now about IVF, because that's also an option as well. We have that option today in today's society as well to do IVF, and that is your choice, and that is another option for experiencing your genetics carrying on, or perhaps even being able to have a natural pregnancy. So there are options. We don't want to limit ourselves. We want to connect with Spirit and understand what we can understand in the moment, find peace with what we know, find truth, acceptance, and love. And this is where we begin to have a flow of prosperity. So I want to get into a bit of conscious conception. So we're in this class. You may be someone that ends up having something called a conscious conception. Why? Because you're already consciously conceiving. You're aware that there's a baby in your spirit field for some particular reason. More likely going to be your child. Okay? So conscious conception, I feel like, is a game changer for humanity. We can watch what we're eating, our diet. We can help with environmental factors that influence disease. If we can look at our emotions, making sure we've healed our inner child, we're doing our shadow work, we're not going into, a parenting role when we have unresolved wounds from our childhood. These conscious decisions make a difference with society. They completely change society. So you can choose how you want to do this, and that's a blessing. That's a gift. Be excited. Be in gratitude. You can nourish your body and fuel your cells with healthy food. Trust in divine timing. I already spoke on. Things don't always go with the time we want. It's hard to sometimes, make certain choices that we need to, or there's something that's just not ready yet. If we aren't holding that what we are trying to manifest in our hands, We aren't in an energetic alignment to it yet. Trust, improvise, be open to growing. Understand that both parents involved are co-creators to the child's life, okay? So both parents eat healthy, work on your emotional healing, your spiritual healing, connect. You as parents may want to work on tantra to help to increase your awareness. Another thing with indigo children, it's important to have a healthy sexuality. Our society demonizes sexuality, and it's unfortunate that our media sells from sexuality because it's so sacred. And people that are healers have a high sex drive. Why? Because your sacral chakra is your portal to the infinite source of the universe. I mean, the miracle of life is that not the perfect example of or proof that we are here to manifest? We are creators by nature, but we're limited in our thinking due to the programming. So we're opening that up. We're connecting with our divine union. We're letting this chi energy flow through us. We are consciously conceiving. We heal our chakra. There are sometimes, shackles and chains around here in the sacral chakra, yes, but we are healing our sacral chakra. Womb meditations, healing the divine masculine and feminine, integration of the divine masculine and feminine. We're doing shadow work. We're facing our fears tied to pregnancy and parenting. We're working on a healthy body, mind, and spirit. We're releasing blockages, having healthy water and air. You may get some crystals to use to help with conscious conception. Remember, everything is a resonance. Be sure your vitamins are healthy, anestesols are healthy, at healthy levels. I see heavy metals in people's bodies often. That's something that's going to help if you cleanse that out. Cleansing the liver is been known to even help some people heal from cancer. There's things you can do now. Get excited because you are aware and you have a choice now to really significantly be a game changer. Remember, generational curses are not curses. They're socialization. That's been passed over and over. And also with conscious conception, it comes to property and home clearing, crystal gridding. Now, as you're getting into this, your dreams are going to become more vivid. Another way your spirit baby may communicate with you is through your dream state. Remember, we're sleeping most of this time here on Earth. That is closer to our reality and time. What's here is more of the illusion of this classroom here. So be sure to keep a dream journal during this journey. Learn the symbols. Everything you see may not be literal. It's a symbol. Whatever color the bathtub was, how was the shape of the bathtub? Did you see a tunnel? Did you ask the tunnel, what does the tunnel do? Where does the tunnel go? How do I go through the tunnel? It's a symbol. So working with this nature, is going to help you to be guided in your waking hour. Okay? And now remember that it takes a tribe, it takes a village to raise a tribe. So, you're not going to be doing this alone. Be sure that you're cognizant of how relationships affect you and affect the child. You may have an indigo child who's highly sensitive. Are we going to go put him in grandpa's arm who has a spirit attachment to his left shoulder? No, we're not. When we're guiding, we protect, we step in. And being with conscious conception, it does help. We want to have a level of awareness to what is going on with our children. Who is near them? Are they picking up their energy? Because indigo children are like magnets. And remember, we naturally attract in these narcissists and sociopaths. So protect, okay? Now we're ready for the good stuff. I covered a lot of information. Let's go ahead and begin to connect with our spirit baby. We're going to go ahead and begin to get rooted and grounded, okay? So we know how we're going to go ahead and get ourselves into a grounded, cleansed state, raise our frequency. I want you to go grab a pen and paper. You may want to plug some headphones in because I'm probably going to add in some background music at this part. Have some water, something to drink here. Go to the bathroom. This is your undivided time here. So we may need to pause it and come back. So we have our paper near. I just started playing some music. What we're doing is something called automatic writing today. We're going to allow Spirit to use our hand to help us to receive some messages, okay? So let's go ahead and start by getting rooted and grounded. Okay. Go ahead and close your eyes and go within with me. I am your guide today, to help guiding you to connecting with your spirit baby, your spirit team of your best and utmost good. So we're going within our heart space. First, we're closing our eyes and bringing our awareness to our brow line. Okay. We're just there, feeling. What do we feel or notice? We're going to go ahead and go down into our heart space, right around our heart chakra, going into our hearts. Begin to breathe. Deep breath in and out. A cleansing breath. Next breath, we're going to make some sound and say ah. Deep breath in. Release. Ah. Did you notice a vibration in your heart chakra? We'll do it again. Deep breath in, a cleansing breath. And I want you to begin to get rooted and grounded from your heart space, roots growing down the trunk of your body. Visualize these roots going into your pelvis. Visualize these roots growing down your legs, out through your feet chakras, down into the floor below you. Have your feet firmly planted on the floor below you. And these roots begin to become thicker and grow horizontal and vertical into the earth below you. Connecting now with Mother Earth. I am rooted and grounded. I'm going to go ahead and ground a little bit deeper today because this is a big connection point. I allow my roots to grow deeper and deeper into beautiful Mother Earth. Thank you, Mother Earth, for grounding me. Now I feel a pull to the earth. I feel present, so I'm grounded. Okay? We're going to go ahead and begin to draw up white healing light from Mother Earth, this electromagnetic energy. Draw it up with your mind, visualize, allowing in this electromagnetic healing energy to come in and cleanse us. Up my roots, up into my body, filling my body with a white radiant healing light of love and discernment and truth. I'm just allowing this light to flood my body, my heart, down my arms. Okay, you may want to open up your hand chakras a bit. Okay, now I'm going to go take my awareness to my crown. You may want to get a tuning fork or play some frequencies that help you to open your chakras. The crown will open with a tuning fork or some bells. So I've opened up my crown chakra, and now I'm going to allow in white healing light from above, pouring into my crown, just filling my crown chakra and my body with a cleansing energy, cleansing my cells, my tissues, my organs. I release now all negative and lower energy from my body and space now, and so it is. And we're going to visualize and come back into our hearts with this white light and let it flood out, flooding out of our heart. Now we've connected with the divine infinite source of God's unfailing infinite energy. Divine Mother and Father, we allow into our hearts as this energy floods us. So I'm just kind of going around my toroidal space here. Okay, and now we're going to shield. I'm going to go ahead and throw around myself a beautiful ball of purple energy, a bubble of purple energy, symbolic of wisdom, protection, and truth. I'm going to go ahead and seal it under my toes. I am safe in this space. All negative and low, no negative and lower energy may penetrate this bubble. I'm going to go ahead and put a white light around myself further, sealing me in an unpenetrable white light bubble. Okay. I'm safe in this space. Now also for the sake of this, we're going to create a healing bubble, a mediumistic bubble. So let's create a safe bubble around us, almost like a dome of white light. If you're sitting at a table, maybe it's covering you and the table. If you're sitting on the couch, maybe it's covering you in the living room. Go into your mind's eye and begin to visualize this energy coming down like a dome. Now this dome is unpenetrable from any darkness. Any lower energies, none can cross this dome because we've sealed it and we are intending it, okay? Now we're going to begin to connect with our chakras a bit. I'm going to we're going to start with our mind's eye. We're going to say thou. We're going to try to feel a tingling within our right above our brow line, okay? That's where the mind's eye chakra is, the brow chakra. And we're going to say, until we feel it buzz, thou. Now change the tone to getting it to vibrate there. Thou. May sound something like this. Thou. Thou. Mine's vibrating, so I'm going to go to my attention here. You're going to keep doing it until you feel that vibration. I want you to visualize an all-seeing eye, and then either a light switch or a skylight. But through your intention, I now open up my skylight and allow myself to connect with spirit. For me, now I'm a practicing medium, so I saw like a wave. The best way to describe what I just saw was like, it was just a knowing that I'm there, because it looked like this. Okay? So through my intention, I now am connecting with my higher consciousness. I allow in my higher consciousness to speak through me. I am turning on my mediumistic abilities. Now, you may want to flood your eyes with light, healing light, flood your spiritual ears with healing light. You may need to do a whole light bath or a sound bath, or get an intuitive healing session before you start this. This is why ancient wisdom is so important. We're not going to spend a lot of time with what I've already taught you to do. We're going to advance forward. So we've cleansed our senses. We're open. Okay, so we could use, again, tuning forks, frequencies, sound, singing bowls, whatever you resonate with personally to help you to open up each chakra. Once you're open from crown down to your root, I would say this is a good time to begin to channel. So you may want to pause this and take some time. I'm feeling very open right now in my mind's eye. Let's go ahead in our heart space and open this up a bit more too. Going down in my heart space, and I'm now going to visualize white healing light, opening up my heart and expanding my heart with compassion. You may want to allow in the divine goddess Kuan Yin of compassion to flood your heart with this pink and purple energy she's coming and dancing with today, with these stars that look yellow, filling my heart space and expanding. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and begin to connect my heart with my mind's eye, connecting my heart and my mind's eye. I will think from a place of love and compassion. I will give from a place of love and compassion. I will receive from a place of love and compassion. And just with my hands, I'm kind of helping that energy to open. And when you feel open, you feel grounded, this is when I'd like to go ahead and begin. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open our hearts a bit more now. We're going to go ahead and welcome in our spirit team of our best and utmost good to please come join us here for healing messages today, welcoming in my mediumistic guides of my best and utmost good to please come and help use my hand for automatic writing. Help me with the discernment of the energy today. Thank you, Spirit. You may want to take this time to say a prayer. Let's go ahead. I now open up my heart and my mind, my higher consciousness to receiving a healing message. I will only allow in what is for my best and utmost good, and I will only tune to a channel of unconditional love for my most beneficial information. Go into your heart and begin to say out loud the things that you love. Let's try for 30 seconds, okay? We're raising our our resonance. I love my dog. I love my ministry. I love crystals. I love ice cream. I love to write. I love my friends. I love my family. I love cars. I love chocolate. I love nuts and almonds and cashews. I like going for walks and for going for runs. I like teaching. I like giving. I like connecting. Okay. So everything we just did should raise your resonance to a higher state of frequency and alignment. So when it comes to channeling, it's all about that, because now we're in the state that is going to resonate with the state of frequency that we can connect with and receive a message, a hit. Okay? So at this time, this is where you want to have your feet planted and your hand on your paper, and you're going to go into your heart, and through your intention, I'm putting myself to the side. I'm here to be of service to this incredible spirit being that has come into my space. Here to do this for my own love for myself. I'm in my mediumistic abilities, only allowing through what are for my best and utmost good. Now your hand may begin to draw something. Remember, it's not the spirit you're talking to. It's your spirit guides who you trust or who are helping you with automatic writing. They're going to receive the message as well from spirit and help you with discernment through your hand. How do you do that? You just allow the flow. You don't negate what comes through. You want to draw a flower? Draw a flower. If you want to write down the word blue, write down blue. What if it's blue, penguin, rhino, hippo, tank? Let it all out. Okay? Now we're going to begin, and when you look out of your mind's eye, right now I'm looking over here to the side. Sometimes I'll look up here. You may go into trance meditation. Everybody receives messages different. You can close your eyes and allow yourself to feel. We're going to first find out how we receive our messages. So we have our spirit team here. I want to call forward my spiritual development guide to please show me, how do I receive my unique information in? Now allow yourself and write down whatever you feel, whether it's a tingling, it could be very faint. And I'm working with your spirit team now and helping them to help you. Okay. You may receive your information like a tingling on top of your head or at the bottom of your toes. Some may feel it in their heart. Some may get tapping on their shoulder. Okay. Some people may see. Are you starting to see? Are you starting to feel? Are you starting to hear, taste? How are you feeling? What are you receiving? Just sit with it. Just noticing, not thinking, not doing, just neutral, open, not biased, present, willing, trusting, coming from love. You may want to write this experience down and share it in the live Q&A. We're going to keep moving forward. I now want to call forward our spirit babies to please come forward and join us today. I allow myself to connect with my spirit babies. Take note of anything that you feel, see, taste, or observe. Go ahead and ask our spirit babies to join us here in this healing dome and come very near to us so that we may connect. Okay, our spirit babies are right with us. like to bring forward from my heart a microphone. I'm going to go ahead and pull this microphone out of my heart and bring it closer to what's in front of me. You're visualizing this. You're playing along with it. You're imagining. You're connecting. All of a sudden, you hit a match to a frequency and you're shown. You're in. You're connected. Don't be frustrated if you see nothing. That may not be how you receive. That may develop with time. We're going to call forward a spirit baby, one of our spirit babies, to please come into the microphone and let yourself be known how you come in to give a message. So we're going to allow our spirit team to uniquely show us their energy so that we know every time that they're around. So maybe you had a spirit baby you felt coming in over on your right side, or over by your womb, or over by your chest. I'm going to ask now that our spirit babies always come in to our awareness the same way, so that we may discern their energy and know that it's them. Thank you. Let's begin to ask some basic questions, and then we're going to have time for your individual questions. Connecting now with my spirit baby in front of my microphone. Can you please tell me your name? Do you sense a gender? Do you see pink, blue? Do you see bow ties? Do you see a gender type of symbol, identifying symbol? Anything coming through? Allowing. Maybe we see yellow. We see gender neutral energy. Allowing in this beautiful love and connection. You may feel peace. You may get emotional. Allow it. You are loved. You are chosen. Flooding of tingling all throughout my body. This is a powerful group. It's powerful babies. Now we're going to open up this time for our spirit babies to show us anything that we need to know. That you may take this time to ask questions or just sit back and allow yourself to receive. Write down everything that comes through. Spirit baby's heart. Putting a brick wall between any busy thought and my higher consciousness. I'm going above that brick wall. I just laid a brick wall because my mind was a little busy there. I threw up a brick wall here and I'm going above it in my higher level of consciousness where it's quiet. You may need to put brick wall after brick wall after brick wall up here until you get into a higher state of quietness. Work with the energy, be intuitively led. You've got guides to show you how to quiet your mind. You've got this glorious spirit baby to show you how do you quiet your mind. want you to ask your spirit baby for a timeline of when they may potentially come through. Maybe you can get a timeline of months, years. Days. Is there anything that we need to know or anything that you'd like me to do? I want to ask all spirit babies in this space to please deliver a healing message to your beloved parent. And allow. Now you may want to pause this and play some music and restart this process or do it yourself here. We're going to continue to move forward, and I want to ask all of their spirit babies in the room to please reach forward, and I want us to reach our hands out in our mind or in person. I've asked our spirit babies to give us a gift. Ourselves to receive the gift. Write it down. Whatever you see, hear, feel, experience. Okay, accept the gift. I welcome it. Thank you. Now we're going to go ahead and give a gift to our spirit babies. Go into your heart. You're still there. I want you to, from your heart, pop out a cartoon heart. One cartoon heart. Send it from your heart to your spirit baby's heart. Now I want you to begin to flood them with love. Pour out of your heart, hearts. Each heart is like a cloud of hearts. This energy of love. We're just sending and filling our baby spirits' hearts with our love. Connecting. Some of us may have our eyes open or closed. It's whatever works for you. At this point, you may ask another spirit baby to come forward if you notice there are others. You'll want to repeat the process as many times as you'd like. Now we're going to say thank you to our spirit babies for joining us today. We know you are near, and we're going to make more effort to communicating and listening. I allow you to interact with me for my best good. Thank you. I love you. Just smile and embrace this energy. You may be filled with an experience of this light energy right now, this happiness, this flood of warmth. Embrace it, enjoy it. Circulate it through your heart, your body, your space. Transmute it. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to connect. Now I want us to go ahead and we're going to come back into our present space by taking our attention to our heart, flicking that light switch off or closing that skylight, going up into our mind's eye, our brow line, closing through our intention. I now am connected back into my present consciousness, and I am turning off my spiritual senses. And I want you to open your eyes slowly and come back into this present space and join me. Right, how did that go? How was that? Write everything down. Enjoy this. Keep a journal during this process. Okay, because a lot of times when we're in that state, we come back and we have trouble remembering. Until we know we have a really strong channel going on. You know, as me as a medium for the public, I don't really remember much of anything with any client. And that's the hard part kind of about building relationships, but I've gotten better at being able to jump back into that time and listen or ask spirit to know what do I need to know from the last reading. So there it is, and it's as simple as that, and it's going to grow and develop with time. Okay, and you can tweak that to your liking. The way you do it is unique and it's perfect, and that's the way it is, and it's right. There's no wrong there. And as long as you are only allowing in what's for your best good and you're not entertaining the negative. If you start hearing negative thoughts, if you start hearing negative talk, you are not connected to the right channel. You need to raise your frequency higher or get a reading with me and we can work on it and look at it deeper one-on-one, okay? When we hear negative voices, we need to tune to a different channel. It's as simple as that, but this should have been a very positive experience. I had forgot to tell you to put a brick wall or a filter over the busy mind, but Spirit reminded me in the middle. So that may have helped you at that time you needed it, but you can do that from the start. To put a filter or take what I do when I first started this, I was intentionally going into one side of my brain. That's the way I learned to channel. And I would put myself to the side and I would do this as a service to the light, allowing my higher consciousness in. And if I was still struggling through needing to do more shadow work and my mind was still busy, I would put a brick wall there and I'd try to go above it. And every time I hear something busy, put a brick wall and go above it. Or you may need to take time to really do a light bath or a sound bath or some sort of cleansing ritual within your mind. Or you need to look into your vitamins and minerals and make sure they're balanced and your hormones are balanced. All of these can play a role in the busyness of the mind, okay? And how settled your soul is. So I hope that was transformative and I hope it continues to grow. And if you want one-on-one counsel regarding this, I think it is important. I've gotten a lot of help from spiritual teachers that I respect, and that's okay. And it's helpful and guiding. Okay, so we're here to guide each other and work with each other and love each other. So I'm here for you if you want any one-on-one guidance regarding your individual abilities, how you receive message from spirit, or connecting you with a specific channel from a deceased loved one or a spirit guide. Okay, and that's it. I was met with 3 baby spirits. I saw some blue, I saw some pink. I was given this music note. My children, I feel, and I don't have children now, but there is this emphasis around like music and being visible. So that was a really sweet gift. I'll be looking into that symbol more. And it is important to always ask the symbol what it means and for the healing message. And what else? I got some names. I got a timeline. And also one of my children here, I believe that will be coming through me. And she's been seen by other mediums as well. People have noticed that this baby is close to me. She was telling me about one of her past lives here. So much came through just from that little experience for me. But I'm used to connecting with my spirit babies. I'm used to connecting with spirit. I do this every day. So I encourage you to grow with it and play with it. Playfulness and the airy fairy and that high vibrational energy really connects you in resonance to higher frequency energy and higher beings and dimensions. Okay? So again, you may want to use some music during that. You definitely want to ask questions. There may be times you just want to allow yourself to receive, okay? Now, I mentioned something about saying, I will sense and not feel, and know that your body will alert you when you are not connected to beneficial information. For example, if you have a grumpy old grandpa who you dislike, say he's about to call you. How do you feel before you get that phone call? You're like, something not good is about to happen. You may have woke up on the wrong side of bed that day knowing, Grandpa's about to come into my space today. I can just feel it. So we know, and I put an emphasis on that just because society does make it seem like we may never be able to really understand who we're talking to. So don't even try to, just ignore it. No, we don't do that. So if there's any, you see black orbs or a ball of darkness, that is not a good sign. If you start to feel nausea, that is not a good sign. If you begin to have scratches or hair pulling or being touched, that is not a good sign. You need to have authority over your space. No spirits may touch me or come into my space. I am safe in this unpenetrable eggshell of protection. Call in your angels, call in your spirit team to protect and guide you. Okay? And then I left this off with some prayers. There's a pregnancy prayer, parenting prayer, and a healthy home prayer. Why? Because I just want the absolute best for you. And if you are interested in different prayers that may help you to resonate with a frequency that you're trying to achieve. And I believe in the power of prayers. I really do. I use prayer. So it's not to push it on you. It's just to encourage you if you would choose to use that. So there it is. That's all it is. I don't recommend connecting with spirit for more than like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes when you're first starting off. Now, I can sit and channel for hours, but I've been doing this. When I speak to my spirit team, I don't go sit and talk to them for hours and hours. I get back present in my earth dimension. You know, it's like they're there, they want to guide you, but we are here for a reason. There's a balance is what we are trying to achieve within this healthy relationship with spirit. So we're receiving for a period of time, and then we're coming back into our presence. And then that'll also help the imagination not to run versus actually receiving in that message, because there is a part of your imagination and visualization that connects you, but then you're actually sensing and receiving in vivid information. Like when I'm giving intuitive healings, I'm seeing the colors being given to me, the energy being given to me, the symbols, the tools needed to cut, release, whatever is that situation at that time. Spirit will guide you. Spirit will show you and support you as long as you allow, okay? And because those good spirits in the light, they are here for your good. So continue to connect. Please leave a review, share this with a friend, and enjoy. And I thank you for joining me today, and have all of the fun and happiness in the world connecting with your beloved spirit babies, making this world, this planet, a better place. Thank you.